I don't want to see that. One second, I'm doing an angry tweet. I'm just doing an angry tweet. Give me a second. Tweet. Accidentally posted 2 of them for some stupid reason. One second. Give me 1 second. Nearly done. Go. I think it's done now. Put this. All right, so let's talk about the dev stream. First things first, they showed the vehicle. I'm just gonna leave the background, it's fine. So we'll just quickly talk about it. They showed the vehicle, and they showed that the vehicle was gonna be a part of Venus, whenever the planes or Venus, I'm just calling it planes of Venus, whenever Venus comes out, which looks interesting, and I'm actually curious to see what that is gonna be as well. I'm hoping that ends up allowing us to do races that they have multiple types of vehicles, faster ones, slower ones, heavier ones with cannons and shit like that. Maybe a fat boy from Supreme Commander, a Corpus version of it, with a bunch of Supras mounted on and just kind of blasting away. That would be nice, but that's just one of those things. The Tenogen skins. The Tenogen skin looks nice. The Chroma ones look really, really good. I like both of them. They look great. Well, vehicle, they showcased a vehicle on the dev stream where they were talking about a vehicle that will be coming with Venus's update, like the open world Venus update. Looks interesting, so we'll see how it goes. The vehicle is fine. It's new interactability, so maybe tanks. Yeah. I'm actually curious to see as well how it'll end up going. They talked about the new Void node. So well, not Void mode. They talked about a new endgame mode. So from the get-go, from the start, when they first announced it, they said it was going to be a replacement for Dark Sectors. Now they've moved away from the concept that is not a Dark Sector replacement. It is actually a game mode that is completely separate and is aimed more for veterans and for people, for stuff to do and stuff like that. Okay, I was interested because ultimately endurance runs is not actual content. That's the problem. Endurance runs is not actual content. Let's be honest. As someone who's done a bunch of endurance runs, they are not actual content. But people may disagree, but that's fine too. You can agree to disagree. But my point is, this was a legit way that they could have actually made veterans come back to have some sort of incentive. How many times have I said this? How many times have I been proven right by saying this? Warframe players are the kind of players, for the most part, who are incentivized by the carrot on the stick. If you don't have something to work towards, people are not going to farm it. If some resource is not going to interest them, they are not going to bother farming them. They showed some of the rewards that is coming with it. I really, really hope that either the peculiar mods were a joke, or there are some other rewards coming in and the peculiar mods just drop from the mission types and they're not part of the reward tools. As Onion pointed out, they're going to dilute the drop tables. Now, I understand the ideology behind it. Okay, cool. You know, some fun mods for stuff to do this and that. Especially if you're not building for like level 100 plus enemies, etc. You can potentially give up a slot for an augment or give up a slot for a fun weapon mod here and there. Okay, that will hold your attention for a week. And the novelty of those mods will wear off very, very quickly. Trust me on that one. The novelty will wear off very quickly. People will go back to using their min-max builds and stuff like that as well. The mods look disappointing. I legit, my temple is pulsating here. I can feel the blood just pumping through my fucking head right now because I'm legit tilted because of how shit that was. It's just kind of really, really caused a lot of grief for me, the fact that they're actually doing that. Now, they showed two of the mods. One of the mod was going to be a mod where fucking flowers erupt from impact procs. Are you fucking kidding me? Since when do we care about... Okay, look, if that was a mod that dropped from anywhere, or it was a very easy mod to get, I get it, fine, that's fine. Implement it, use it, let people enjoy it. But a game mode that you are acting that is going to be for veterans, that's supposedly going to draw back veterans, etc. What kind of fucking veteran wants to say, oh yeah, let me quickly go do something for a leaderboard and get a peculiar mod? That is not going to draw people back. Also, holy shit, Pokey, welcome back. Dude, I ain't seen you in a long time. How's it going? Y'all good? Welcome back to the stream. So, I really, really hope they reconsider. I really hope there is either some other rewards that actually incentivize something for people to actually want to farm Warframe and actually play games. Because honestly, if that's the best that they have for the veteran mode, I'm not going to play it. I legit won't play it. I'm just going to spend my time in the Kuva Fortress, keep farming and keep doing all the stuff, etc. Was watching it separately, was a pretty shit stream, but they're gonna have to say that. Let me just read up on chat real quick because I think I missed a couple of things. Some joke mods in Korra. Yeah, that was another thing. They also said that you can earn focus from it. Okay, I've maxed out my focus, so that's irrelevant to me. But for the people who haven't maxed out their focus, okay, they can farm it, which is interesting, and it'll be useful for you guys, because you don't have to do Adaro, you don't have to do all the other stuff that is available in Warframe, and shit like that. Also, I need to do my login for Warframe, I just remembered. I need to play login frame, so I'll just do that now. But I turned off Steam. So, you know, that's one thing. Okay, you can do the farming. And then there's another thing which they mentioned, that you will farm Korra through the Void mode. What have we learned from all this stuff? People don't like when stuff is locked to a specific frame or specific game mode. They're lock. What's the wallpaper called? Search for Kevin Glint Grax on DeviantArt. That's what it is. Hey, how's it going, Ivory? Welcome back to the stream. Tilting over what we were just talking about the dev stream. So the implementation of the Void mode is supposedly just gonna give us peculiar mods as a reward. Peculiar mods are like joke mods, which add special effects but don't actually add anything else to the game itself. And for something which is supposedly gonna be something that's supposedly gonna be something that draws people back to the game, I don't really have any sort of interest in doing that, you know? I don't have, it doesn't incentivize me to actually play that game mode at all. It really doesn't. Let me see what's going on. Something on stars from impact procs and flowers from crits. Thank you, Dark Ram. Point is, they're still fucking pointless. It doesn't matter what they were. They both look fucking useless. See, here's the thing. If, okay, you know, you've got sorties. Sorties have conditions, right? So you do a sortie, it can have radiation procs, it can have slash procs, it can have resistances, low gravity, magnetic procs, it can have whatever. That is fine, because it is a special effect. It is a special effect, it is a special condition that is applied to the mission, and that's fine. They can just as well make it that it is either a utility slot, like, you know how you got Exodus adapters or Exodus slots? Let it make a new slot which goes directly into that, or make a slot that goes into arcanes, or make it that it's a condition for the mission type specifically. Like, you can acquire it, but it's not something that you have to equip on your Warframe or your weapon. People don't like fucking substituting mods on their frames, on their builds, especially if they're min-max builds. Do you really think I'm gonna change any of my builds to implement any of those mods if they don't actually offer anything good? Fuck no. I've got already my min-max builds. I am not changing shit for that one. Especially if these mods offer nothing good. Unless these mods offer some sort of CC, some damage type, alternative gameplay, I'm not gonna bother wasting my time with them. You know what game, you know what augments I like? I like the Evara one, the new one. You know why? Because it's an alternative gameplay style, and that mod is strong as hell. It is strong. It is very, very strong. You know what else I like? I like the Mesa augment. You know why? Because it allows you to run around. It likes you to move and do stuff like that. It's a good augment. You know which other one I like as well? The Equinox as well. But even though I still maintain the Equinox should have been part of the base kit. You know, those are things which I have an interest in. Those are things which I can get behind and I can support 100%. I'm sorry. This peculiar mod stuff has really, really disappointed me, the fact that it's actually being implemented. And I normally don't like being negative about things like this, but this has just kind of really fucking tilted me a little bit. For the focus to be worth, you gotta be able to hit daily cap easily in an hour at most. Otherwise, I'm just sticking with a Daro where I can cap in 20 minutes. I agree, Zaranoth. Like, I get my focus cap done in about 10 minutes in Adaro. If I can't do something within an hour for focus farming, I will stick to Adaro unless, of course, they completely gut that game mode, and that game mode is completely pointless and offers nothing, which would, I guess, be a different thing itself. So we'll have to see how it goes. I really thought they would have some kind of power test, like Flowers did dot damage, maybe the Coyote added more enemies to be staggered, but it's all cosmetic. Come on, guys. You know what, Heroic? I thought the same thing. I thought maybe there would be something special where they have these wacky effects, but they offer some form of CC, they offer some form of damage, or something or the other, but they don't. They're all visual. I am not going to sacrifice a mod slot for any of those fun mods. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you might be more forgiving. Maybe you might want to try them out. I won't. You know how I play Warframe. You know how I min-max my shit. I am not going to sacrifice any of my mod slots for those. I'll collect the mods and I'll leave them, and that's it. I'm not going to touch them again, but that's just how it is. No, Matthias, I didn't. I was playing Battlefield 4 with Tim earlier on. Ugh. I'm legit tilted with that mod thing, man, with what they've announced. I really hope there is some other mods available, something else that's coming in, because if there isn't, oh boy.
Yes, mate.
Just a little bit. Dude, my head is still pulsating right now here because I'm so triggered. And the last time I was this triggered was when I did the Eidolon fight and everything fucking broke. The last one was the last time I was legit fucking triggered back then. On a positive note, Vauban Deluxe skin looks really good. The hammer looks really good as well. So there is some positive out of it, I suppose. But fuck me, that's legit tilted me so much. I don't know. Does anyone have anything to add, anything to say, anything you liked about the dev stream, anything you liked about those mods? Because I genuinely didn't. I was so fucking disappointed with those mods, and So the bigger issue I have with it is that they're closing themselves on two fronts. If the odd mods are meant to be the vet rewards to show EPing, then they have to be unique, untradeable. But if that's true, it makes them even less value to a veteran player. If they are tradable, then the new mode is super dead on arrival. No one will care to do it. Exactly. No one will care to do it. You know the only people who will care to do it? The people who will find cheese methods. I don't like calling it cheese, but, you know, cheese methods. And they'll just run and do the endurance runs just for the sake of the leaderboards for the EP and stuff, and that's it. And they'll collect the mods, and that's it. They won't touch it again. Those are the only people who'll run it, and after that, it'll be dead. They won't bother doing it, so that's just how it is. Some people may like them, but overall, they seem useless. Would be an added like features like arcanes instead of a mod slot. Yes, okay. So this is our Warframe right now. In the current state of the game, you've got your main mods, you've got your Aura slot, you've got your Exodus slot, you've got your Arcane slots. You have no, you don't have to compromise your builds, you don't have to change stuff, and you can make it fit and it make do with everything else in the game. Unfortunately, now, say for example, okay, let me find a build,
Yes, mate.
Let's say this one. Let's say a build like this. A maximum duration build. I need maximum range and a high duration. This is for CC and locking down entire areas. I am not going to sacrifice a single mod from this just for those mods. You know why? Because this is a min-max build for a very specific purpose. Now, you may say that, yes, I can remove some of this and have one loadout slot, which is for fun stuff, etc. Okay, I get it. If you enjoy doing it, go for it. 100% power to you guys. Enjoy doing it. Myself, I won't be doing it. And for that specific reason, I'm tilted as fuck. The other issue I have is that these mods are being added to a game mode that was supposedly advertised as a veteran thing. Veterans are not going to run this content. This game mode is going to be dead on arrival for the most part. There will be people who will try it out for a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, and then it'll start dipping down. And that's not... I don't think Warframe can really do that kind of stuff. They shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. I was at a point after 5 years of playing and 15,000 hours of playing, I have done everything in the game and I was struggling to find time to play. But now, with the introduction of Kuva Survival, I was happy because it gave me incentive to play, it gave me incentive to farm, and it was actually really, really fun. I actually liked that game mode more than the Kuva Siphons and the Floods, etc. And then they're doing this. This is just, there are no words. I've literally got no words to describe it, unfortunately. And I do not like being negative for the most part. And you know, like I say this multiple times, we as content creators have a responsibility in terms of giving constructive criticism. And I'm hoping that this is not coming across as a rant and it is constructive criticism. Even though it is negative criticism, I'm hoping that DE does, if they do listen to it, if they do see the stream, if they are watching, I'm sorry DE, but honestly, you need to reconsider. You need to expand on it. There needs to be something else to incentivize us as players, especially as in the veteran community, etc. This does not incentivize me. This does not incentivize people who have quit the game to come back and play and farm. I'm just saying.
Boy.
The survey command is basically me collecting information about how people play Warframe, what are their interests for farming in Warframe, what are the reasons why they do endurance runs, if they do them. If they don't do it, that's fine too, but it's just me collecting information. So any new people coming in, that's what I'm currently doing. Also, Waldo, thank you very much for using a Twitch Prime sub here. I appreciate it. Can we get some love in channel? Waldo, if you type exclamation mark Discord, you can join my Discord. You can also pick up my Warframe glyph as well. Currently, I only have a set number of codes left right now. And those are for subs only. Until I get new codes, I won't be able to give codes out for that. So I have requested some more codes. As soon as they're out, you guys will be able to claim again. But until then, mods, if you're a sub, you can claim them from my Discord. And thank you very much, Waldo. It kind of, I love that sub sound enough that it actually put a smile on my face, but I'm just legit fucking tilted with this dude. I don't know if there's anything else I can say. It's just legit fucking tilted me a little bit. Even if the point is to be pointless, then the slap to the face as a vet is even bigger because they took resources away to make something pointless. Hello. Yeah, exactly, Pokey. Exactly. You know when was the last time I got this tilted? When I did that Eidolon fight with Onion, Vader, and Moose. Everything broke. And then it crashed right at the end. And I just got so fucking tilted that time. And then I just rage quit. So this is just kind of got me going. And I have not been angry in Warframe for a very long time, but this has legit made me really, really disappointed. Also, what's up, Loverbite? Welcome to the stream. I know you've been here, but I never actually got around to saying hello to you and everyone else as well. Hopefully you guys are doing well. I'm sorry you've come in at a bit of a negative point. I don't like being negative in general on stream. I like, you know, doing constructive criticism, but this has got me really, really disappointed in what's coming in. I really hope Venus, Korra, and the rest of the stuff is interesting enough for the people and actually keeps their attention. But ultimately, once people do the Korra event, once people play Korra for a week, maybe two, the hype will start dying down. And because of that, I really hope Venus has a lot of content and it will deliver. Because Plains of Eidolon was really, really good. Plains of Eidolon was really, really good for Warframe, and it was great for people as well who are playing. But it's just I don't know, man. This Void Onslaught mode had the potential to kind of bring back people, and I think that's what's tilted me more than anything else. The fact that it was a game mode that could have brought so many people back to the game, but now they're just gonna look at the dev stream, they're gonna see the game mode, they're like, what the fuck is this? And they're not gonna come back. And honestly, as someone who's played this game for so long, I'm passionate about Warframe. I always have been. You guys have seen it. And I don't like Warframe being in a situation where they get negative stuff. I don't like it because I like the game itself. I like the developers. I like DE. I like the community that we have. And I don't want it to be in a situation where people are pissed off and stuff like that. I don't think they mean to be so backwards because they really do mean well, but sometimes it makes me think they're super out of touch with the veteran community. And Pokey, I seriously think that, and I've thought that for quite some time, but I've been very reserved in my judgment, and I've been like, okay, and this is something which I said about a year or so ago. A year ago, I said, I will play Warframe as long as I'm enjoying it. I will keep playing it. I will keep streaming it. I will keep supporting the developers, and I'll keep talking about all the content, showing it to you guys because I like the game. The second they do stuff I don't like, I will take a break. I'll go play something else. And until the game mode comes out, until I play it, I will eat my words if the game mode turns out and being something else. But based on the first impressions that I've seen, it's really disappointing, and I'm really, really sad that we're at this point right now. Because I really do like Warframe, and this is the last thing that I want to see for Warframe. And I genuinely think that now, we know that Warframe has a test server, right? We know Warframe has a test server. I would really, really hope that Warframe considers inviting some veterans, people who do endurance runs, people who do long runs, survival runs, who do min-maxing, who do that kind of stuff to the test cluster to help them test, to help them, to give them feedback and do stuff. I will happily spend time doing that. I will stop streaming for a little bit so I can devote time to that to help them improve the game. I will happily do that. If not me, someone else. If they don't trust me, you know what? Fine. It's fine. You know, I don't care about that. As long as there are people who can actually give them feedback. I really, really feel sometimes that there is this disconnect between Warframe, the devs sometimes, and the player base as well. And it really, really bothers me sometimes. It really does. Telegen Realm was also disappointing. That's up to personal opinion. I liked the Chroma skins and I liked the Mag skin as well, but that's up to personal opinion as well. It's not gonna happen. They're not that considerate. Well, whether they are or not, I don't know. That's the reason I left the game. I said the same things you're saying 2 years ago. I feel you. I'm glad you're still sticking around to it. You know what, Pokey? I remember those conversations because I was in the voice calls with you, and I remember distinctly well what you said and what was said and everything that was going on. And you know what? Back then, I had the same mentality as you, what you said, and the reason why I stuck through it is because I like DE. And I like the game, and I've enjoyed the gameplay and the mechanics so much that I haven't found something to replace it. Even though I took breaks, even though I tried finding something else, ultimately I haven't found anything that would hold my attention the way Warframe does. And again, it's a game which I've invested a lot of time and effort into, and I would like to see it continue to be good. So we'll see how it goes. Just one of those things. Well, and yes, well, like Milo said, please be respectful. This is not meant to be a rant, and this is not a place for you to, you know, shit on DE. I may have come across in it, and I apologize. That's not the idea, but please be respectful about stuff like that. It is annoying about what's happened. It is disappointing, but ultimately, you know, they are people as well. So just be a little bit be a bit respectful, not disrespectful. Fucking hell, he said disrespectful. Warframe D decided to go into game design. I love them in the game, and I'm not quitting Warframe over this. I'm just disappointed. Yeah. Answer your Discord. Let's talk about this live.
Yes, mate.
Yes. All right, Rebecca. I will call you right now. Let's talk to you right now. So Rebecca's coming in. Let me say hello. Hi, Rebecca. Hello? 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 I don't know if it's working. If it is, I can't hear you, Rebecca. I don't know. I can't hear Rebecca at all. You might... Have you got push to talk? Do you want to join Discord if that might be easier instead of call? I don't know. My Discord is crashing. Alright, no worries, no worries. And this is another reason why I actually like DE, because, you know, Rebecca's actually here, and that she's actually going to talk about this live. So let's actually talk about this live. Alright, Rebecca, I'll send you an invite. 1 second. Discord.gg / should be that. There you go. I will leave the call. Just join into the stream channel and I'll grab you from there and we'll just talk there, yeah? Rebecca always has my utmost respect because she engages so much and invested as much as we players are. I agree. Yeah, no worries, Rebecca. Take your time. I'm here for about another half an hour before I gotta go because I am working tomorrow, so I don't have as much time. But honestly, thank you very much for taking the time to actually come and talk to us about it. And hopefully this will actually end up clearing some misconceptions because I am a little bit disappointed with some of the stuff. And if you can actually answer and clear some of the disappointments that I have and the community it has, that would be really, really good. So let's see what happens, and if people are interested, I will end up making a VOD of this last bit of the segment so you can watch it later on if you want, because, you know, ultimately you guys can see what's going to happen about it. I see it as being a bit like a Prodman poster, but in mod form. See, here's the thing though. Okay, Wraith, I understand what you're saying. And the Prodman poster, for the most part, it's not a mod. It doesn't go on your wall frame. It doesn't go on anything like that. And I'm okay with that. You know what? It's a decoration which you can put up in your thing. If those mods were not mods and they were just effects that didn't change your frame. Like, okay, in my situation right now, in where I'm sitting right now, because you know how I play. I'm a min-maxer. I max out everything. Focus, Forma, Endurance, Arcanes, and all that kind of shit, right? I will not be sacrificing those mods. So those mods basically instantly become, you know, pointless to me. And thus, if that specific thing is going to be what is supposed to be the incentive for me to do to do that run, I don't have the incentive. You know what I mean? Like I'm hoping, like I'm not coming across as snobby, and I hope you understand what I'm saying. It's like there's nothing for me to do in that situation. Rebecca, 1 second, I'll just give you roles so you can just hop into voice. There you go. You should be able to join the streaming channel in a second. Hello. 1 second, let me just change your permissions to voice activation. There we go. Hi, Rebecca.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm on my phone for like literally the only time I've ever wanted to join your Discord, but like not the only time, but like time sensitive joining of your Discord. Yes. My whole client is crashing. So wish me luck on my phone.
Yeah, it should be okay. First of all, honestly, thank you very much for joining and, you know, helping to kind of clear up some of the misconceptions as you may have pointed out. Now, we watched the dev stream, and on the dev stream, we saw like the game mode and we saw the peculiar mods. The peculiar mods seem like fun mods which you can actually get, but my concern is that if this game mode is aimed for veteran players and people who do endurance runs or are focused around leaderboards, and the rewards which you get is the peculiar mods, from a min-max perspective, from a veteran player's perspective, I don't really see them actually as something useful or worth farming for or playing the game mode to actually do outside of, say, for example, getting the Korra and enjoying the game mode for a little bit. It feels to me like the game mode will have some interest and some hype for about a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then it will kind of die out. And
totally. I would share the same concerns if peculiar mods were the only rewards there, which they're not. So continue talking and then we'll come back to that point.
So that's kind of, you know, that the fact that you said that's kind of helped me a little bit, because I thought peculiar mods was mostly the main focus of the rewards. So the fact that there is more rewards coming in, that actually kind of, you know, helps me a little bit. But
no, so basically right now the way it's working is so you might have noticed on the UI, and if anyone's scrubbing through the dev stream, basically when you are clicking to access this game mode, there's the regular mode, which starts at level 20, and then there's the weekly reset mode, which is the arcade challenge mode. And that's the one where the levels for that week, it'll always be the same spawn. So it might be infested on Void first, then Corpus on Earth next. So it'll be persistent so that there is a leaderboard pressure challenge to it.
Right.
And that one is endless. So as far as you can go, as fast as you can go, plus your score throughout, it's all going to be about performance there. And that's, leaderboard gameplay, and that is pretty standard in Warframe when we used to do events and stuff. That the leaderboard pressure is there, and that is there as one outlet for competitive gameplay for an endless game mode, which is one school of players. Obviously the Korra school of players will probably prefer not to participate in that level, which is totally fine. And then on top of that, there's the focus boon. So at the beginning of every wave, after wave 1, there's 45 seconds to crunch as much focus as you can, and each wave the bounty, the multiplier increases. So you're starting at, 10 times, then 15 times, then 20 times, placeholder numbers, but just for example. And then on top of that, every 2 waves, you're entitled to a reward rotation. So in the same way that you get A, B, C in other modes, it'll apply here as well. So say maybe these are peculiars are in rotation C or rotation B, but what's going to stuff the rest of those tables, right? Like it's not just peculiar mods in there. What else is in there? You might have noticed at a moment on stream where Scott looked at Sheldon and was like, yeah, we're going to put other rewards in there, right? Because right now that's sort of what we're designing is what else should go in there, because clearly, and we said this on stream, peculiars are not for everyone. And that's certainly the truth about peculiar mods, but clearly they're not for you. As made evident by the stream. So what else would you want in there? What else is worth farming for? Like what would you want? Because if there was ever a time to say something, it's after the dev stream we talked about it, where we said we're putting other stuff in there. So
I'm going to open this question out to the community as well, because there's a lot of people who watch the stream and like are part of my community who are veteran players, min-maxers as well. So I would ask you guys as well, please put those messages in channel. I will make a VOD out of this so you guys can check it out later on, and I'll send it to you as well, Rebecca, if you need the information from there too.
I will.
The other thing for me was in terms of the rewards, right? So I just wanted to bring up 2 more points. The first one was that if you have peculiar mods in the reward table, is that actually just would you get them in both game modes, part 1 and part 2, or would that be like just part of one and then the second one have its own sort of rewards as well?
I don't know right now. I would say literally the point of the second one is it's challenge mode, right? So it's how far can you go? And if you get the furthest, how happy are you with being the best that week, right? Like this is the equivalent of going to, I think we quite literally said the word arcade. This is the equivalent of me going to the arcade, seeing that Frozenballz is #1 this week, but that mofo better believe I'm coming for him, right? Like it's that. So if you are old enough to have played in an arcade as a child and value the #1 spot, it's like that is the fundamental extrinsic thing for this. But obviously Warframe is a carrot stick analogy often. So like what else is there?
So okay, so the reason why I asked that question is because if peculiar mods are going to be dropping from there, the other concern which was brought up by people and myself as well is the dilution of the rewards table. So you can get peculiar mods, and if people don't have an interest in that, all of a sudden the rewards table has been diluted by the fact that you have the peculiar mods to deal with, and then all the other stuff which you're looking at adding in as well. So that was one of the concerns which I wanted to bring up. The other thing which I wanted to ask was, and I just drawn a blank. Fuck, I can't remember what I was going to say.
That's okay. Just hearing you talk is a peculiar mod enough to my ears.
What? You got flowers on your ears? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. See, I bet I could sell you on peculiar mods if I told you that it's your voice that people hear when you get headshots.
Oh yeah. The other question was what Pokey mentioned as well. Pokey mentioned that from a veteran perspective, again, case in point myself, I finished my focus farming. I have all the focus nodes maxed out, and in the case of veterans, for the most part, most of them will have them maxed out as well. So is it, again, I don't have the numbers, I don't have the stats, you guys do, so you will know how many people actually have those stats maxed out. So in a situation like that, I guess you will be able to make an informed decision if it's actually a viable reward. I guess it would be still a viable reward for the people who are still working on their focus schools and stuff like that. But Pokey mentioned that it's not really a reward, especially for veterans who already have everything maxed out. So there's...
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, sorry,
no, that's it. Go on.
Well, I was going to say that's the tricky part about improving things for the greater good for someone that's already been there, right? Like for me, like I've already, say I've already maxed something out. If we make an improvement to a system that I've already went through, it's even with, there's so many applicable terms for this, like even fusing a mod to max rank back in the day. That was a hella brutal journey, and I already maxed all my mods, and then we improved it, and now people maxing their mods from now on have a better experience. So even though I'd already done it with, well, obviously not all the prime mods and stuff, but yeah, it's very difficult because you're balancing a better experience for people that are about to become veterans, and then there's the veteran experience. So when we use the word veterans in the gameplay sense, we're actually talking about the challenge of the gameplay itself, but then that's column A, and column B is, okay, well, rewards for veterans, right? Because there's A, experience for veterans, and then there's B, rewards for them. And I see people in your chat saying stuff like, well, I'm mastery rank 5 and I have nothing left to do. And it's like, yep, that's a problem. And, like, is this particular arcadey style game mode going to give you something to do? Yes. Is your phrase dead on arrival something we need to dissect more? Absolutely. Because what would make it dead on arrival in your eyes, if I'm understanding correctly, is it offers no rewards for a veteran. And that's pretty much it, right? Like that's the summary.
Because ultimately, as you know, as most of the people know, Warframe players for the most part are incentivized by a reward. If the reward is not there, which, compels them to farm for something, they're less likely to do it, or more likely not to do it at all, and they'll go do something else. Like, for example, in my clan, we finished off the Plague Star event when the first event came in. We had everything from there, so we haven't actually had the need to go back and farm them because we have our farmers, we have our resources, etc. Instead, what our incentive was in the Kuva Survival, which I love, by the way, and a lot of people love as well, because it's genuinely a really, really fun game mode. And I've spent, I don't know how many hours I've spent there. I think I found about 500k Kuva there, and I'm not planning on stopping because it's actually a fun game mode and I enjoy it. So that's the incentive for me. And I'm hoping that, like, obviously this is just all preliminary thoughts and based on what we've seen. And again, I normally never give my final opinion until I actually play, because one thing I've learned from you guys after, especially when you added Movement 2.0, I judged the shit out of it, and I said it was going to be horrible, and I was pleasantly surprised. I was actually very surprised with how good that movement mode turned out. So since then, my policy's always been don't judge something completely, but because I just saw that one aspect of it, one facet of the rewards and all that kind of stuff, that's why I had such a major concern as well. And I was like,
Yeah, no, and I totally get, I'm not here to put a damper on your opinion. I'm here to help
of course,
help you form your opinion with more information, because my impression, because someone linked me the stream, was that you thought it was only peculiar rewards, and it's very clear, it should be very clear that it's not only peculiar rewards. But when we were looking at each other like, well, what else is in there? And it was like, yeah, we're going to put other stuff in it, because we know we are like, you probably saw Steve look at me and said, I'm surprised you're so happy about these, because for me, one of the very distinct player types in Warframe, I like it, but then there's people that don't like it. So right in that moment of discussion, it was the acknowledgement that this is clearly not for everyone, therefore there will be other rewards in it. And yeah, I mean, when you see suggestions of what else to put in there, it's tricky, because if this mode becomes the one shot get everything in the game, you'll burn out quicker. I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely.
But it definitely needs additional rewards in the AABC table, and maybe peculiars are limited to a single rotation. So like once you get through A, you're done with B. I don't know, right? Like I'm literally making
these are all arbitrary values, and for the sake of the conversation, I get that.
Yeah, but like maybe Endo has, like I see someone saying Endo, having a big Endo boon would be good for players, and you know what, that is totally true. Like it's been a while since we've given a big boon. There's an inadvertent Endo boon right now with Rathum, I believe, but like there's like really a lot of potential for that. So that is a good note for Rebecca to take down here while she's chatting her mouth off.
So
but what else?
I'm looking at rewards. I see Arcanes, Rivens, Kuva, Focus, Endo, Orkin, Catalysts, Forma. Like, honestly, in terms of Forma and Catalyst, etc., I think there are easy ways of getting that. And credits as well, you can get credits pretty well with Index, etc. I think Endo is definitely a good reward. Kuva, I don't know if it really fits unless you're doing a specific like themed fight against the Grineer. Maybe you could do themed based rewards, for example. Like based if you're fighting like the Kuva Grineer or the normal Grineer, you can get Kuva as a reward as well out of it. And Endo, obviously, everyone does Rathum, but having another place to actually get that resource out of it as well would be very, very nice as well. I'm just reading through what else people have said.
Yeah, I mean, there's no dedicated endo farm in the game at the moment, says Nocturne indeed. And that's really an interesting note. Obviously, nothing I say is guaranteed in the court of design, but I am always one to collect suggestions from concerned parties wherever possible. So that's basically, the deal. It'd be fun to do augments. Like, I think of another interesting thing we didn't talk about is maybe just also new mods. Like, who knows, beyond peculiars, like we don't have any dual stats in certain ways yet. So there's some permutations of dual stat we haven't explored, but that's obviously just me talking out of my knowledge of what we're thinking about. And now see, Hellbound says veterans have their mods max. We don't need more endo. So this is the most difficult symptom to treat is veteran reward exhaustion, because aside from ribbons, which are locked to sorties 1 a day, and that's not changing anytime soon as far as I know, it's like, well, what do you play for?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, like, I understand what he's saying, but from a veteran perspective, from my veteran perspective, and endo is a resource that is timeless. You know why? Because if you guys are seeing my stream, I saw someone asking me about my platinum count, my credit count, this and that. It's because I do a lot of trading. I do a lot of ribbon trading, leveling up ribbons and selling them, right? So in a situation like that, endo is always going to be a reward which I need. So that's not really a reward that's going to go away for most people. And while I understand the complaint that, it's not really veteran-centric, I think endo is a reward that everyone can appreciate and everyone will be happy getting itself. But that's just based on what I've been looking at in general. Because one of the complaints which I see on my stream a lot, over time as well, is that I don't know where to farm endo. I need a lot of endo. Where do I go farm all this endo from? So it's just one of those things where I think having another good outlet or a good place to farm the endo would definitely be a good point as well. I'm
just reading your chat while listening to you talk. It's like we're having a co-stream here.
Exactly. Speaking of co-streams, by the way, just to kind of go off tangent, I'm going to be finishing off collecting all the data by the end of next week. So if you're still down for that, I will bother your ear for that, the conversation about the survey which I did, or I'm doing.
Hell yeah. Awesome. I got my stats portal up and ready to go. Awesome. We will see. Yeah, meanwhile, I'm going to judge your limbo build right now just because it's up and clearly you're begging for judgment. So let's see. Oh, this is, you call yourself a veteran? My God, you have embarrassed us all.
Go on then.
I'm joking.
Go on then. No, go on then. I'm waiting now. Let's see.
No, I'm joking.
I know. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm just being a joke. No, so it's really tricky because the current situation in Warframe, as it often is once you reach a certain point, it's what rewards, if rewards are all that keep you playing, like what should they be? And for me right now, I've been playing longer than you, so just
a little bit longer.
But it's like arcanes and ribbons, right? Like that's my daily seeking for my gameplay at this level. And if I wanted to play Void Onslaught, why would I play it? It is, for me, I want to try the challenge mode out a lot to see if I actually can get myself high up in the leaderboards. Were you ever, I'm trying to think for Void Onslaught, for weekly leaderboards, would you think those should be rewarded, or is status enough? Hello?
I'm here. I was just don't worry, don't get paranoid. I was just thinking. See, my concern.
My phone.
Huh?
Oh, sorry. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
I'm on my stupid phone, so I don't actually know what's going on. Okay. Hello.
Hello. So this is a bit of a, I guess people may not like my answer, but I don't really think that being high on the leaderboard should be rewarded. And the reason for this, the sole reason for this is because of the fact that it's so easy to kind of automate gameplay in Warframe. It can be made to the point where you literally just set up macros or you play in a certain way and you can just go very long for that. It doesn't really allow people who actually want to play the game to be able to go that far unless they're doing those very specific methods of gameplay. And for that specific reason, I wouldn't want to incentivize that sort of play, because that would just kind of promote those kind of people to play in that style. I'm being vague on purpose, but I'm sure you understand where I'm going with this.
Yep, so, totally. Yeah. No, I totally get you. Yeah. No, that's a very good point. And that's tricky, right? Because that's why we didn't do clan leaderboards for the last event, right? Because we weren't prepared to have competition not really be competition. So yeah, no, I totally feel you on that. Yeah, and I mean, as well for me, the experience of challenging myself against gameplay pressure is something that's I haven't had in a while, right?
Yeah.
Like I've mastered the Eidolon flow. It is hard for me from time to time, but I've got a pretty good grip on it. I have a really good grip on sorties. So for me to go into a possible endless game mode where the actual gameplay takes 25% more of my attention than what I'm used to giving it, I'm ready to commit to that game mode just as someone who's likes the way that Warframe's gameplay is. So that's the reward of fun, which doesn't have a drop table value.
I mean,
but
Moose brought up a point. We'd like to see arcanes in other locations other than PoE. So maybe an implementation of more potential arcanes to come in, because that would incentivize people to play. Because again, the carrot on the stick mentality comes into play here. If you have arcanes which people are interested in getting, you know, they're more likely to actually go farm and actually do that kind of stuff. Like I know I definitely will if, you know, you've got you know, arcanes. And again, guys, if you have ideas for arcanes and stuff like that, post them to me in Discord. I will write them all down and I will give all this feedback to Rebecca. I'll spam the shit out of her Discord, and we'll get this done. But this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to talk with Rebecca live and get this information to her and to DE, the rest of DE as well. So if you have ideas, start talking about them and, you know, be open, because you never shut up otherwise. Normally.
oh,
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's all right. They know what I mean. I get the chats flying a little bit, so I'm just trying to kind of read what I'm missing here. If there's some reward, long-lasting EP for the arcade mode, that's what Wraith was saying. With a weekly wipe, it's ephemeral and not very important. I mean, I get that, but I also understand the weekly resets as well. Like, I remember there used to be, like, obviously if you do events, you can obviously see who's done what in those events, and those are, I guess, more like global, and then the normal ones are all reset on a weekly thing, and I think that's not that big a deal, but I guess it depends on people. Someone also mentioned the possibility of actually getting refined relics. Maybe relics,
Ooh.
like actually refined relics would be a nice way of actually, you know, that would be another incentive. Definitely would be a very, very good incentive for people to farm and make it a bit easier for actually getting their prime stuff as well at the same time. I think that's actually a really good idea too.
I think Radiant Relics is a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. That way you can get all their shiny prime goodness.
Yeah, exactly. Like
so Theta Bug says, in MMOs, I go to high-end dungeons to get me some powerful weapons. In Warframe, I can get weapons by resources. What if I farmed for powerful secret weapons from Onslaught? So like a mode-exclusive weapon? Oh my god, why do I hear shooting stars?
That's the sub sound.
Oh, yes it is. Okay. It's like, why is it on twice?
Yeah, that was the sub sound. Yeah. Yes, you hear Rebecca's voice here, Corner. She is on voice right now. Also, Cost Leader, thank you very much for the sub. We're just talking about all the stuff we saw in the dev streams. We're also throwing out ideas as well for possible rewards to incentivize veterans to actually do the new content itself. Because I was ranting about it earlier on, and Rebecca so kindly came on voice to kind of, you know, fix my thoughts about what was worked, what wasn't working, what is true, what isn't true, and that kind of stuff too. So, and now, you know, giving potential ideas for adding potential rewards for veterans in this game.
And hey, I'm not here to correct thoughts. I ain't the thought.
No, not that way. Not that way. I meant my wrong thoughts. You were just basically, you know, correcting what I thought wrong. You're just correcting that. I'm using the bad words here because I can't English. And it's very close to my bedtime. I'm usually going to sleep, you know, by this time for work. So I can't use words, but people understand what I'm saying, I hope. If not, then thank you, come again. But
Well.
Yeah.
So hold on, I'm just doing a recap here of, because, you know, this is shipping next week.
Yes.
But yeah, no, basically, or at least it's supposed to, but we'll see. I am with you on the Endo, perhaps some pre-refined relics, which I think was already in the pipeline internally. Radiant relics, or actually it should be Radiant, because you can't upgrade once you've upgraded. So anyway, there's definitely room for all of these fun things. It's something we will keep you abreast on as the week progresses, because it'll probably ship next week Wednesday, Thursday. But either way, the main takeaways for me joining this call is that peculiar mods are certainly not the only rewards. And the game mode itself, once you play it and pressure yourself to actually play it challenge mode, it's pretty much the most chaotic fun I've had in Warframe in a long time, and I've been playing a long time. So that's just my experience with it.
Okay. I'm just reading a couple of more messages that came through. Pokey said, if you want something to be content that gets done over and over without an incentive, then it also needs to be enjoyable to be repeated without the reward for the main focus. This is why roguelites are enjoyable to that specific audience and have leaderboards without gameplay changing drops. And for the most part, yes, I do agree with that. But there's also this element of, like, for example, the Kuva survival. Like, survival game modes. Okay, like, I'm just going to quickly go back to the survey, which I did, right? We've got actually over 2,100 responses now. Awesome.
Holy shit.
That's a lot of responses. So one of the questions I asked was, what is your most favorite endless mission type? And not surprised, survival is the one which is voted, and then followed very closely is defense, and then Kuva survival. Survival is basically sitting at the top. It's because people enjoy the game mode, the fact that you can just farm, kill, murder, maim, and get rewards out of it as well at the same time. And, that's because they enjoy the game mode, they can just play it. And the Kuva survival is the sort of same thing as well, where it's hectic. Those enemy spawns are always coming at you. Those, the napalms hate you, and they will start nuking you from a million miles away and just set you on fire and everything else, and it's chaotic. And the bonus is that you enjoy a game mode and you also get Kuva out of it. So, like, there are game modes, and that was actually a game mode that actually got me back into Warframe, because I was taking a bit of a break, because after, 5.5 years, well, 5 years plus, not half year yet, but 5+ years, I've done pretty much everything in the game, and I was at a point where I was like, I don't really have anything to do right now, so I'll come back when I've got some stuff to do as well. And Kuva Survival brought me back in a big way, and I've been farming pretty much, I've been farming pretty much every single day, just farming, rolling stats, and getting very, very disappointing stats. Like, I got minus 100% critical damage roll on an optical ribbon, while I got damage multi-shot cold, and then minus damage.
I think I saw your tweet about that and laughed.
It made me cry. It made me cry on stream. I was crying while I was listening to some really, really chill music as well. And chat was
laughing. It made me laugh. So one man's cry is another woman's joy. So think of Void Onslaught in that binary relationship.
I suppose. I'm going to repost some cosmetic rewards for Fashion Frame would be good as well. Also vaulted relics or something like that. See, I don't know about the vaulted relic system, if that would actually be implemented, because...
My phone! Hello?
Hello?
Hi, I hear you now. Hi, sorry, my phone is just not the best for Discord, apparently.
So Picado...
But that's okay.
Picado was saying some cosmetic rewards for Fashion Frame would be good as well, and vaulted relics or something like that. Now, I don't know about the vaulted relics, if that would actually be implemented, or if that's actually, a thought that you guys have thought about actually implementing as a possible reward for Onslaught, because you've got a system already in place for vaulted relics and stuff like that. So... But cause the Fashion Frame stuff, maybe that could be something which would be interesting. Like, for example, PvP, right? You've got all these PvP skins which you can get if you decide you want to do PvP and give it a chance and enjoy it. Although a lot of people end up cheesing it, but people who have done PvP have all the skins. Case in point, myself, I have all the PvP skins. By the way, Rebecca, when are we getting a Tron skin for the Mitre? I really need my disc launcher.
Oh man, well, maybe we'll put it in Void Onslaught.
Hey,
then it won't be so bad.
Hey, I'd be all right with that as well. I'd be okay with that. I just want a Tron disc launcher. But anyway, I'm digressing here. In terms of the vaulted stuff, I don't think that would be a thing since there's already a system. But Fashion Frame stuff, definitely, because there's a lot of people who are invested in it. I'm sure there's a bunch of people who spend money on 10th gen, deluxe skins, and all that kind of stuff. So having more kind of stuff, which you get specifically from there, would be a really nice thing as well.
Damn right. I'm trying to sorry, I'm just taking notes, and I was messaging one of our guys just some like short list. I know that like I was saying that pre-refined relics is already in the pipeline. And then we're just looking at like other things. I can see a couple ideas have already made its way into our corporate chat. So I'll just have to follow up on those, and then I'll let you know what's going on. But Yeah, I'm just taking a quick look at your chat now too. So I'm like talking and reading at the same time.
So one question which I got, when you say endurance runs, do the enemies scale like they currently do in endurance runs? So like going from level 0 to 100, 150 to 1000 to 10,000, you know, like...
I believe it's accelerated. So going from wave 3 to 4, we'll see a jump in, like, because each wave is 2 minutes and 30 seconds exactly. So you know how long each wave takes. It's whether or not you can survive that wave out. That determines if you can jump into the next, wave. So once you go in, I believe it's on an accelerated difficulty scale, just for sheer chaos. Like when we say arcade mode, it's truly that to a T.
Right, okay, cool.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Wraith 2 says, for those who don't fashion frame, that would be disappointing. I don't at all. So I think if I was, because I do have to go, but if I were to go with 3 general conclusions, I would say, obviously, it's impossible for us to make something that is for everyone.
Yes, of course.
But, but it is also impossible. I think well, I'm not going to say impossible because we try, but yeah, it's hard to make something that pleases everyone. We have a lot of really good things, a lot of good ideas from this group today to make sure that we can try and get some of the rewards in so that it's not just a peculiar / focus spot, because some people aren't interested in either of those things. It will have a challenge mode, but some people, again, may not be interested in that. But at the end of the day, once you try it, you'll have an even better idea of what kind of sensations you've felt while playing, what feedback you can give.
So, just before you go, one more thing. I think what Pokey said was something which I understand as well. But he says, my issue is that mostly the content that releases tries to appeal to everyone and then feels extremely lackluster on all fronts. Why haven't there been more content released targeted at a specific group? Veteran is too vague and rewards are too limited. And that is something which I kind of echo to an extent. Like, of course, like I understand the reason behind creating content for all groups, because... you know, that's what appeals to everyone. And when they have, like, I've always thought of Warframe not having an end game in the same sense as other games, but having a shitload of content that people can actually do. And the more you progress, even more stuff gets unlocked. And that's what I've always assumed about Warframe. And that's what I've always kind of liked about Warframe as well, that you don't have this specific thing that you're locked to it. But at the same time, I've also considered, like, maybe it might be worth that making some content which is locked. Case in point, stuff which is locked behind Second Dream, for example. You have to progress to that point before you're able to do the rest of the stuff, right? So in a situation like that, maybe consider making the second part of the Onslaught mode for, you know, people who have reached a certain level in the normal version of it, or have basically a certain threshold. I can't say what threshold yet because I can't think of the, you know, what sort of threshold would be appropriate, but maybe something like that so that, you know, people have a goal to work towards before they move on to the next step in terms of accessing the arcade mode and having the pure chaos as well. Because people would still have the pure chaos with the normal version. I'm sure, like, it'll still be chaotic, but then you've got the other chaotic mode as well, which you can do as well.
Right. So you want it to actually be accessed by progression, kind of? Dang. Well, it's probably too late for that, but there is going to be some need to have it progressive. I'm not trying to think now. Maybe it's not too late. All right, I will see. I wouldn't be too certain about what we can add for the access points of the challenge mode, but access mode equals instant or earned. I will find out for sure.
All right, one last question before I let you go, because I need to go as well myself. I need to sleep. I got work. Vanity Mods and Korra rewarded us. These new modes feel like it's just such a slap in the face. It's the same issue Defection and the rest of Warframe has. Even if the game modes are fun, if the rewards are terrible, people won't play them. Glares at Kuva Survival not having scaling. See, here's the thing, and in this situation, I'm actually going to take the time to actually defend DE, because I bitched and moaned about Kuva Survival, but I've run them, and the numbers are fine. Honestly, Kuva Survival numbers are fine. The only thing which I said was that Kuva Survival could do with scaling if endurance runs and endless game mode is, you know, a part of the game, and if that's going to be one of the selling points or the selling phrases or the buzzwords, as, you know, last year's E3 like to do, you know, if that was going to be one of the buzzwords, then potentially adding some form of scaling, like as an arbitrary numbers, 200 at start, then every 15 minutes it increases by 50 kuva, not 50%, by 50 kuva, so up to a limit of an upper cap of 400 kuva after an hour, and then after that is just you know, just stays at that upgraded level per se. But ultimately, Kuva Survival is fine, because especially, and that was actually the reason why I did the survey, because I asked people about where people play Warframe, how they do endurance runs, and for the most part, people don't go past an hour. So ultimately, if you're not going past an hour, you don't really need those sort of rewards. Honestly, you really don't. You can just keep playing the way you are doing. And, you know, it's just one of those things. Now, I understand about what you're saying about vanity mods and Korra as a slap in the face, but as Rebecca has said, we are getting more rewards out of the game modes. Obviously, we'll have to wait for the game mode to actually show up so we can actually see what we're getting, and test them and see how fun it is, if the reward is enough incentive and stuff like that. Obviously, that is something we can only test once we actually have it, and Rebecca can't talk about that. You know, it has to be some of a surprise for us as well as players, because I want to be able to discover stuff in Warframe, not have it all given to me on a silver spoon. So in a situation like that, being able to play the game, see what I have and everything definitely is a good thing. But the fact that she has turned around and told me that, you know, there are more rewards coming, that obviously helps as well a lot. So yeah. Honestly, Rebecca, thank you very much for, you know, coming. Thank you very much for giving your time and answering the questions and, you know, calming me down as well.
Sorry, hold on. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, hi. Sorry. Yeah, it's
Yes,
my phone decides to not. I heard the tail end of that also. But yes, I do have to run now. As you can see, a hotfix just went live, so I do have to go. But thanks for listening. And as always, thanks for giving your thoughts and take it easy.
Thank you very much for joining, Rebecca. I do appreciate it. You giving the time and actually coming and talking to us about it as well. So thank you very much. I know you've got a busy schedule, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Bye. Bye.
And that is Rebecca gone. I will let her go do her stuff and whatever else she needs to do. That's fine. So we have a bit of an understanding. We have a bit of a conversation about what's happening with regards to this. She has given us information. I understand some information is limited. We can't actually do any more. She can't give any more information. Also, I know there's a few people who came into the chat. Amanda, welcome to the stream. Crazy Biker Dude, and everyone else who came in. Thank you very much for coming in. And whoever tweeted to Rebecca, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it as well, because she came in and she was able to check it out and talk to us as well on point. And I see Saskia was there too also. I don't know if he's still here, but what's up, Saskia? Honestly, that was really, really nice, because it kind of alleviated some of the stress that I was having and why, you know, I was pissed off at the game mode and pissed off at the stuff that was shown and the conversation that we had as well. So that is good. For the people who want to watch this, I will be making a VOD out of this, and I will be uploading it to YouTube. So you can check it out at your heart's content. I'll post it there, so you can check it out whenever. I'll post it on Twitter as well for the people who do want to see, who do want to talk and see how it goes from there. So thank you very much for taking the time to actually answer the questions. Having said that, this is an opportunity for you guys. You need to understand this. This is an opportunity for you guys and for me to give this as an opportunity for you guys to push information to DE. Remember, as a content creator, I have this sort of bridge between DE and you guys. So if you have ideas for rewards, you need to let me know. Send them to me in the Warframe channel on Discord. Send them to me, join my Discord and send them to me in the Warframe channel, and I will pass all of that information on to Rebecca. I will pass on all the rest of the information as I can. So if you haven't already joined Discord, type !Discord, get yourself in, assign yourself the Warframe role, and get me the information from there as well, and then we can go from there.